Hello, everyone. Welcome to Growth School. Welcome to this amazing, special, and great Growth School experience. I just came in to show my face. I'm trying to call in some people on the platforms I can and also get people to come here because this is a really special Growth School session that you do not want to miss. I was also trying to do a number of check on the internet to be sure that we're good and then we do not affect the experience we had the last time so that we will be cool and we'll be fine. Please, I need you to confirm that you can hear me in a message. Wow, amazing. Sister from long time. Thanks for connecting from Delta State, Nigeria. Nice to see that you're here again. Been a very long time. I trust you're good. I trust you're well. It's an amazing Sunday evening in Nigeria. Please do well. Let me know your name and where you're joining from. And we'll be back again to start the session proper. Do well to also share the link with the people that can receive them with all of the people that you know. Share on your WhatsApp status. Encourage your friends, encourage everyone to be here because we will be speaking on that concept. We'll be taking it further from where we left off on how to manifest your genius. So I will be back in some seconds. Please stay tuned and then use the few seconds we have to actually invite others. Just go to all of the groups, the platforms, invite them that Grow School is live so we can get started and move on. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Sharon Mite. Nice to see you again. Sharon has been an amazing, faithful Grow School member, even from way back. Thank you. It's nice to see that you're here, and thanks always for checking up from where you are. Thank you so much. It's really amazing. We will get started in few minutes. Oh wow, AY, Ayomedia Deni. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, Ayomide from Ogun State. Thank you so much. I'm delighted to see you. I'm delighted to know that you're here. And I know you're ready for a lot of really deep wisdom. What a good time to really start. Starting with this elevated wisdom and going into the week with it, it's really going to be amazing. It's going to be phenomenal. And I can tell you that it's something that will change and transform your life. I'll be back in some seconds. I want you to just also do well to invite people while I wrap up with the people I'm trying to tell to join in here. Thank you so much for joining. We'll be back in some seconds. All right, now I see we are set and we are good to go. We are good to go. We're good to go. Um, Thank you so much for staying tuned. Thanks for being here. I'm seeing some really amazing and phenomenal people. I can see Victoria Obishason. Thank you so much, Victoria. Nice to have you here on Growth School. I can see Boluwatife Factoru. Thank you, Bolu, for joining. Where are you joining from? Victoria is joining from Anambra State. Interesting. Dalu Idewo. I hope you can respond and you can also type Igbo. Idewo, thank you so much for joining. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I'm really grateful. I'm honored. I do not take your being here all the time for granted. I'm so delighted that you've decided to do this with me. Thank you so much. Thank you for trusting me with your time. Thank you for trusting me with your effort. Thank you so much for the amazing things you do. I can see all right. I think we are back. I think we're back. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Please just let me know if the video. Okay, interesting. I think the video is back. Thank you, Jerem. Thank you, Jerem, for joining. Really nice to have you attend Growth School. I guess this is your first time. I will just keep seeing you again in our coming sessions. All right, so let's go straight to the session what we have for today, manifesting your genius part 2. Manifesting your genius part 2. I can remember we started sharing some very essential things from the previous session, and I would just want to do some sort of recap because of those who are just joining, who were not there when we had part 1 of this session. We started by sharing on the concept of we started by sharing on the concept of truth and the sources of truth. You know, many people would always tell you, "Oh, I'm speaking the truth. I'm telling you the truth. You just need to accept this truth." Before you accept the truth, I mentioned in the last part 1 that you must always trace the source of that truth, because there are certain things that determine what people call truth, and their sources usually should be the reason why you should believe or you should accept certain truth. And we shared on the fact that people decide their truth based on logic. So they combined A and B, and then they said, oh, if A is true and B is true, then the outcome has to be true. If A is true and B is false, then the outcome has to be true. A lot of people determine their truth based on the fact that maybe they have false here and false here, and they will tell you that this particular thing is true. So people can determine truth based on logic. So before you accept a truth that is said, you need to find out and say, why does this person think this is true? And in reality, could this be true? I was at an event yesterday, and I was trying to point a picture on how science have actually proven many things that people called wise saying or people called certain truth. So, for example, someone could say there is no smoke without fire. But today you go to events, you go to shows, and you see smokes erupting and just trying to make the environment glamorous. Yet there is no fire that initiated that smoke. All right. So people bring their truth based on logic. Number 2, source of truth is experiment. And I cited examples of people who were science students. You did physics, you did chemistry. That's why you always see people say um, experiment, observation, and then conclusion or recommendation or result. So people could determine their truth based on experiments. And you must also understand that certain results happen because certain experiments were conducted in certain environments. Like for science students, for example, when you put a particular, when you try to grow a particular plant in the dark, for certain reasons, they may not grow because the environment may not permit them to grow. It does not mean that if you conduct the same experiment in another environment, there will not be a different outcome. So when people become assertive and they tell you, this truth is what I believe, you must trace the sources of their truth. So truth can come as a result of logic, truth can come from experiment. Number three, truth can come from experience. Truth can come from experience. So certain people come on the media, for example, they give you certain notions, they can tell you certain things and say, oh, I've been through it, this has happened to me. If you go through this way, this is also going to happen. It happens to everyone who passed through these things. But because of their experience, they have hold on to certain standards and they're selling them to you to tell you that this is the truth all the time. But many times they do not look out for their faults in those experiences. And if you take their experience or what they got from their experience as truth, you may miss out of the testimonies of the glory of the rising of the manifestation that you need to receive. So people believe certain truths from their experiences, and the experiences does not mean it will be the same. Why? Because you will meet new people, you'll meet different people, you will likely be in a different environment, you will likely operate in a different dispensation, you will likely operate with a certain kind of system, with a certain kind of structure, and it does not mean that you will have their experience. So it's really important that you understand that people believe certain truth based on their experience. Like, for example, in a place like Nigeria, where there's Christianity, there's Islam majorly, people will speak from the point of where they have grown. Maybe, for example, they were born in the house of a pastor. They believe certain truth based on that environment of growing. The same thing, certain other religions. So people believe their truth based on experiences. Number four, people believe experience based on their expertise. All right. Another source of truth is expertise. So, for example, someone who studied, say, international relations can tell you that as long as international relations stand, this is the truth all the time. Someone who studied mass communication, for example, can tell you that the only way to truly communicate is through this medium because I'm an expert in mass communication. Or maybe I took a certificate course, or maybe I had a bachelor's degree, or maybe I had a master's degree, or maybe I had a PhD. So you must begin to trace before you accept anything as truth. You must trace where the source of that truth is coming from. And then I said the best of it all, the one that is the highest. Sometimes you can't just use your humanity to determine how true it is that there's another source of truth that comes from revelation. Okay, it comes from revelation. It comes from keeping your own spirit in tune with a realm outside this world, with a realm outside the earth, with a realm outside what the physical eyes can see. So there is a truth that comes as a result of revelation. And whether you have all of those other sources, one that will keep you ahead of time, and one that will keep you ahead of your industry, and one that will keep you ahead of anything in life, and that will get you prepared on the things you need to receive, is the concept of revelation. Now, if you are very conversant with the stories in the Bible, you remember when Pharaoh had a dream, and then he had a dream, he saw a fat cow, and then after a time he saw another very lean one, and he could not interpret the dream. And then Joseph came and gave an interpretation of it. He had a revelation, but that revelation needed an interpretation, and that interpretation needed a requisite action that needs to be taken. So So revelation came in preparation of the things that happened ahead. If you see logic, for example, logic talks of the past, all right? Something that happened in the past. When this is true and that is true, then it means this is true. Experiences talks about the past. Expertise talks about sometimes things that have been learned in the past and is being passed over into the present. The same thing, experiences talking about the past. If you also look at experts, it refers to what experts in the past learned, and then they poured over to a current generation, and they are certified as experts because of things that people in the past gave them in the present. But revelation many a times talks about the future. That's why it's superior to all other sources of truth. It's superior to all other sources of truth. So you need to ask yourself today, the things you believe as truth, what are their sources? The things you believe as truth, what are their sources? Because your sources determine the authenticity of the things you hold on to. Your source determines the authenticity of the things you hold on to. There is this story in the Bible. I think it's in Luke chapter 15, the story of the prodigal son. You remember how the man had two sons. He was a blessed man, a wealthy man. He had two sons. And then the younger son came to the father and he said, Father, I want you to give to me the portion that belongs to me. Okay? The portion that I own, I want you to give it to me right now. And then the father divided his living and then he gave the boy. He gave that boy the portion he wanted. And then days after, the boy gathered all he had and then he went to a far country. He traveled far. And then he was going and then he got into a new city. And then the guy was balling. You know what you guys call balling? He was flexing. He was spending the money. He was partying. He spent on a lot. He was just spending. He was spending. You know, he saw the money then and he spent and spent and spent until he spent all. And the Bible now said that there was famine in that land. And when there was famine and he had spent all, he began to be in want. He began to be in want, which means he got ownership. He owned what he wanted, but he never had access anymore to the source. He never had access anymore to the source. The same way, if you do not understand the source of your genius, you are going to misuse it, or you will be enslaved with it and be made to believe that you are doing well. You remember a lot of people, they will say, oh, Guy, you're good. Guy, you're amazing. Guy, you're fantastic. Oh, come and do this for us. They pay you little, and then you see that as a means of livelihood, and you keep spending your genius without realizing that you had what it takes to become an authority, to begin to master your genius, and then to get far more than what you're giving. Far more than what you're giving. It's very important. Far more than what you're giving. I'm seeing some of my people here. Wilson, blessed, nice to see you. Thank you so much. Wilson from Anchor University, Lagos. Thank you. Daisy Wabreze, amazing. Thank you so much for joining. Nice to see you. Thank you so much. So something you must always realize is that you need to have the knowledge of your source. The knowledge of your source. So what is the source of genius? What's the source of that genius inside of you? What's that thing gotten inside of you? It's not about access. Oh, I'm being called to be, I'm being called to be, I'm being called to be here, without realizing that people are profiting from your genius, but you are the only one who is not profiting for it. So the ability to be able to trace to the source will make and will consistently make the difference in your life. And then we started talking about the concept of being a genius. And then one statement that was made is that the first step to start living a meaningful life is to stop chasing what is meaningless. The first step to a meaningful life is to stop chasing what is meaningless. Now, the reason why most of you have not really gotten reward from the genius inside of you is really because you are giving yourself to the things that will not make the kings demand the gifts of your genius. All right, so you're giving yourself to certain things. You're concentrating, for example, on other people who do not have as much value, as much giftings, as much genius inside of you. You celebrate, applaud them, and then you follow all your life without exhibiting the power inside of you, without releasing the genius inside of you, without making that genius, that power, that gifting inside of you to gain expression. So you become satisfied with covering yourself, with hiding behind people who push themselves forward. Why? Because you see them as the star, but you never see the star inside of you. So you are not able to fully see, you are not able to fully manifest the power and the giftings and the possibilities inside of you because every other person seems better than you. And that's why you do not recognize the progress in your life and you are not able to release the genius inside of you. So the way that you can start and you can begin to exhibit a meaningful life is to stop chasing what is meaningless. The question is, what are the meaningless things that you are committing yourself to that is not making kings place a demand on your life? What are the meaningless things that you're committing yourself to that is not making the kings show up in your life? Now, let me paint a story. Remember the story of Joseph. Leave all the part where he left his father, he was sold. From the first time that Joseph was sold to Potiphar, the first time he was sold to Potiphar, Joseph started committing himself to the things that were meaningful. And in committing his life to the things that were meaningful, there was a kind of favor he began to attract, such that whenever he touched everything, every of those things were meaningful. Every of those things were meaningful. So Joseph was not the kind that he gave himself to women, he gave himself to laws. He was not the kind that gave himself to carnal stuff. He didn't give himself to demeaning things. He was sharpening his gifts. He knew how meaningful his gifting was, and then he was sharpening it. He was leading this, he was doing that. While he was giving this, he was prospering, he was making progress. And Potiphar never realized that the progress in his house was because of Joseph. And that was why when Joseph also got to the prison, they saw something in him. The genius inside of him also attracted people to him. And then everybody in the prison was given into his hands, to the point that when those who were working for the kings were imprisoned, he solved their problem. So he realized the genius inside of him. He realized the power inside of him. He realized what was extraordinary within him, and he was committed to exhibiting it everywhere he went. The only thing that would attract favor to your life right now, maybe you're watching me right now, you're listening to me, and you're saying, oh, what's the reason why I don't get the kind of favor I should get? It's not looking like I'm being favored. Many a times when I push out for opportunities, it does not seem that I get it. The question is, how meaningful do you live your life? What are the things that you chase? What are the things you go after? What are the things you look out for? What are the things you commit your time to? What are the things you commit your effort to? What are the things you stay with consistently? Are they meaningful? Do they bring meaning to your own life? Do they bring meaning to the life of others? Or you keep yourself behind, or you choose all your life to become a follower. Now, let me tell you something I heard from Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn said in a statement at the time, it was a lecture, he was invited to a university, and he said, never become a follower, instead become a student. And the reason why most people do not exhibit their genius is that they become followers all their life. So you follow someone online, the person said this thing, and then you just listen, you take it. Yes, I'm going to go with it. Be a student, study, Don't just listen to one person, listen to one, listen to two, listen to three, then become a student who then take decision out of every of those things. Don't just follow. Don't just try to say, oh, I'm following this, I'm going to go after this, I'm going to do this. Don't just do that. Listen to advice, don't just follow others. That it worked for someone, remember what I said about truth? That it worked for someone does not mean it will work for you. You need to also study. You need to also be on the lookout. What has been the best principle that has worked? What has been the best way to figure this out? Oh, this person tried it out. Oh, that's fantastic. Let me get another opinion. Then I'm going to see it to decide what should be done. So there is this genius inside of you. Joseph never decided that he was going to adopt an Egyptian principle. He was a student of trends. He knew how to interpret dreams. He started studying his giftings and then improved his life. So the first thing I said is you must identify the things that had meaning to your purpose and to your destiny. What are the things that had meaning to your purpose and to your destiny? All right, you can look out for what was said. There's this rule that I said, the Pareto principle. 80% of the things you do contribute to 20% of the results you have. And 20% of the things you do are responsible for 80% of the result that you have. You need to begin to ask yourself, what are the 80%, what are the 20% of the things that really matter in contributing to 80% of the results I need in my life? Okay, what are the 80%? What are the 20% of things? The problem is most people concentrate on the 80% of things that only offer 20% of results in your life. The things that really offer true meaning are the 20% of the things that give you the outcome of result. I was telling someone, I think it was this past week, that many of the things that make a difference in our life, all right, are usually the most neglected things. Okay, the little things are the things that really matter the most. Many a times the little things are the things that matter the most. And when you are not able to understand those little things, and then you are moved by the big things and say, yeah, this, that, this and all of that, you will find out that your result don't come out for it. For example, as a lecturer, let me use this example. I used to tell, I once told how are you doing? They say, oh, are you preparing for? Have you set a goal for this semester? Have you documented the things that you want to do? Because they look so simple, you feel they are not necessary. Yet the reason why you lose motivation to study, you lose motivation to give it your best, you lose motivation to commit to that dream, you lose motivation to achieve greatness, you lose motivation to push for the best, you lose motivation to rise, you lose motivation even when other people are weak to rise up, is really because you are not willing to commit to those little things. Those little things, because the moment your goals are before you, your visions are before you, you see it again and again while others are tired, you are willing to rise up to commit to it. You know the reason why you have been planning to write a book. I want to become an author. You have been writing to go, this year I will author 10 books. This year I will author 5 books. Okay, show me your goals written down. Show me what the titles of the book will be. Show me an outline that you are going to commit to over time until you are able to finish that book. They don't do it. But you know the effort of, let me just write, let me just type, let me just start, let me just do these things. And then the Bible says something, I think it's in Luke 14:28. It said, which of you wanting to build a house, sitteth not down first and consider the cost, whether he has sufficient to finish it, so that by the time he start to build and he's not finished, the people around him will not begin to mock him. You know how simple as sitting down is? Sitting down is? It's so little. It's like 20% of the entire building project. Yet, it's the most important things. Now, what are the most important things in your life? the most important things in your destiny, the most important things in your career decisions, the most important things in your financial decision, the most important things in your life, the most important things in your business, the most important things you need to commit to in your craft. What are the most important things? They may be so little, but they are the most important thing. The same thing in manifesting your genius. What will give you an edge over the multitudes, over the people who stay at the base of the pyramid, is committing and being consistent with the little things that the majority do not want to do. Being committed to the little things that are so meaningful that the majority do not want to do. All right. So, Moyo follower Iretola joining from Ogbomoso. Thank you so much for joining. Moyo has been very, very, very consistent on Growth School. Thank you for joining. Ayomido Lualashe, thank you so much for joining from Anchor University. Yes, in a message. Thanks for sharing this. The first step to start a meaningful life is to stop chasing what is meaningless. Yeah, what are the things that are meaningless? You have to stop chasing the things that are meaningless. Do we chase things that are meaningful? Yeah. Do you really chase things that are meaningful? What are the things that make meaning? Thank you for enlightening this. Never become a follower, instead become a student. We have so many people following. You follow that link, you follow this, you follow that. Become a student of the system, a student of the council, a student of the pattern, a student of the structure. Become a student. All right, become a student. And then to add to that, take advice, not others. Take advice, not others. You see, most people, they just receive this. Oh, that's an order. Yeah, let's go with it. Take advice. Take advice. Measure the advice. Look out for the strategies. Do they work? Are they fine? Are they good? Thank you so much. I'm seeing Ojekere Oyamame. Thank you so much for joining. Nice to see you. Soyaolu Miriam. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Interesting. So number one, I said identify the things that add meaning to your purpose and destiny. That's how you begin to exhibit and then manifest your genius. Number two, I said submit to the season of your preparation. Submit to the season of your preparation. There was this time. During the time of Esther, where she was taken captive. Yes, she met the requirement. There were many that met the requirement. Yet they needed a season and a period and some moments, some weeks to actually prepare them for the contest. The question is, do you want to appear on the stage where making people think that you're a genius and yet you are unprepared? You know, this era of social media, everybody wants to show up that they are blown and they have made it. And then you will now see somebody, they will now invite you to come and talk on a platform or to come and speak somewhere. And then you don't have content, you don't have context, you don't have value, you don't have depth. Submit to the season of preparation. I know there's this desire to rush and appear that you're a gem, that you're an expert, that you are there, that you've gotten something. Submit to the season of preparation. Take those public speaking classes. Take those public speaking courses. Take and learn how to prepare amazing PowerPoints. Learn how to speak on stage before top people. Understand the system of connecting with high professionals. Understand the system of branding. Understand the system of knowing how to show up, how to dress for an event. Don't just have the depth, also make the preparation. Make preparation. But ready for the season when you will be called and you'll be told to appear. Even when the butler recommended Joseph, okay? Even when the butler recommended Joseph, they did not break Joseph like that. They needed to shave him, they needed to take away the prison clothes, they needed to wear him with a different clothes before he could appear before the king, before he could show up before the king. So it's really important you submit to the season of preparation. Make preparation for the time when your genius will be demanded. There'll be a season when your genius will be demanded. While you're trying to pray, you're asking for favor, you're placing demand, you're trying to do those things. Submit to the season of preparation. Right now, maybe you are just reading books. Right now, maybe you are just volunteering. You are preparing. There will be a time when you will show up and people say, "Where have you been?" They will never know that you have been there a long time. They will never know you have been there a long time. Some of these depth, in message can be a witness. In message, we've connected. I think it's been years now, and we've been doing this for years. All right, so sorry for any of those break and those pauses. I'm fine. I'm good. It's just my VPN that is behaving the way it wants to. So submit to the season of preparation. I was saying you can ask people. Message has been there. Sharon has been there for years. We've been having growth school. There are times it didn't come out well. There are times we needed to not even show up some recordings intentionally. There are some of my videos I left on this channel that if you check them, you'll say, is this guy? There were times it's not my English was not like the best, but yet we're preparing, we're practicing, we're giving it the best, we're showing up, we're making those seasons of preparation, we're going back, we're expanding knowledge, we're attending events. Those are part of the season of preparation. Attend events, volunteers, meet up with mentors, and then make practice. So number 3, where I'm going to stop is define your genius. What is your genius? What are your giftings? What are the things that people have commended you on? For example, we had David. He was leading the sheep, and while he was leading the sheep, he was exhibiting his leadership. He was saving the sheep from the hands of the bear, from the hands of the lion, and eventually he became the CV that he made use of to confront Goliath. So he knew his genius as a leader, he knew his genius as a king, he knew his genius as a worshiper, he knew his genius as a warrior. What are the things that people commend about you? And you find out that again and again they are saying you do this so well. Build on it and then grow from there. Build on it and then grow from there. That growth is the real work you have to do in order to manifest your genius. And then finally, number 4 is that cultivate self-belief. Cultivate self-belief. You see this, I'm shy, I can't do it, oh no, I can't do all of this. Build a system of self-belief. I used to encourage people who want to really do well with public speaking. When you attend an event, let me give you a secret. Write down a question you are going to ask relating to that event, and don't write it down in paper and give it. Stand up, show up in front, and ask the question. From there, you'll be building confidence to appear before people and then to speak intelligently over time. Cultivate the habit of self-belief. See, you live in a system that tries to intimidate you as though you are the less. And many a times, the people who are celebrated do not know more than you. They have only learned to believe in themselves and then to show up again and again. So, number 4, cultivate the habit of self believe. Be willing to believe in yourself, irrespective of where you go, irrespective of where you are, irrespective of the things that may feel like it's confronting you, irrespective of what people have said about you, irrespective of your experiences. Build the habit of self-belief. Sometimes you need to, they call something, um, what's this word, like when you have like a pumping machine and then maybe it's not pumping, then you need to prime. Yeah, you need to prime yourself every morning to step out with a concept of self-belief, that even if you meet a great person, you can stand before them and pitch yourself and confidently speak to them and say, this thing, I can do it, I can make it happen, I'm willing to learn from you, I'm willing to do this. And then you will see yourself getting opportunities again and again. Imagine Joseph was shy to speak before Pharaoh. Even his geniusness, like I mentioned, will not have manifested. Imagine David being intimidated to say he can confront Goliath. Even though he carried the anointing, he would never have been given the privilege to fight in that battle. Cultivate the habit of self-belief. That's what we can take today. I wish I could take more. I still have like 2 or 3 other points. I would have taken more, but for now, hold on to the 4. Thank you in the message. You have done well to share those things. So yes, firstly, chase the things that are meaningful to your purpose and destiny. Number 2, number 2 was submit to the season of preparation. Submit to the season of preparation. Number 3, define what your genius is. You must be able to define it. And then number 4, cultivate the habit of self-belief. Very, very important and very, very critical. In a message is saying, many a times the people who show up, they don't know more than you. They don't know more than you. They only know how to show up. Some people you are clapping for, they don't know more than you. They have only learned to show up. They have only learned to show up. Thank you, everyone.